Good morning and happy match day, everybody. Happy match day if you're a United fan. If you're not a United fan and you're in the live chat, you can banter us all you want. It took me a little while just to actually settle in and look at that league table this morning, just to see at the bottom of your screen that United are in 15th. With Crystal Palace now ahead of us. God, we need to do something tonight. But you're in this morning before all of the football and match day talk to get up to date with everything that's going on with Manchester United. Big Garnacho update last night. Obviously, we broke the news. Romano absolutely destroying a lot of Manchester United young fans' hearts with that news that Napoli are officially in for Garnacho. There's more come on after last night's show, which we're going to get into this morning. All of Ruben Amorim's embargoed version quotes from the press conference yesterday, like we thought, came out. He has talked about Garnacho. I'm going to go into that. It's going to touch on what Gary Neville said on the situation on the overlap, because that was very interesting and does lead us into the title of the show this morning in terms of Ruben Amorim's impact on what is going on right now at Manchester United with the likes of Garnacho, Rashford and other players to that matter as well. We do have an update on Marcus Rashford and everything else around Manchester United. More importantly, get your thoughts across. I've got a poll out there right now which I've just got a little glimpse of and seen the early percentages and scores on this one. If Napoli come in around 60 million, should we sell Garnacho? I'm going to let that run through the whole show. Get involved on that. Get voting on the poll because there's a few interesting comments already coming into the live chat that I can see that are not completely convinced, even at 60 million, that we should be selling Garnacho. This is a completely night and day. This is a complete night and day, 50-50 shout, I think, on Garnacho and where this situation is and if we should actually be getting rid of him or not. I think it has completely split the fan base. But yeah, all of the updates and everything that's going on with all of Manchester United right now. We're going to start with Garnacho. And first of all, I want to get into everything that's actually broke regarding Garnacho from last night. So the news broke last night, obviously, that, and we was live. I was reporting on a situation that I had seen and how it hadn't been shut down, basically. News that Garnacho had agreed personal terms, news that Garnacho was open to a move, wanted to work with Antonio Conte. I thought I was going to get a backlash from it. Everyone looking at me saying that I want Garnacho gone. I didn't. I don't. But obviously I am realistic when I say that if the right price comes in, everyone's for sale at Manchester United. And while we was live, Romano came in and said that these reports are true. He is a top target for Antonio Conte and Napoli. And then last night after that, everyone piled in. All of a sudden, everything that we were talking about on the show turned into top news. Everything that I was talking about in terms of reports on Garnacho agreeing personal terms and everything else. We had, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, Miguel Delaney came out and said that Napoli are pressing ahead with the move to sign Alejandro Garnacho. Manchester United want around 70 million. Garnacho is open to the move. Ben Jacobs came in on that as well, saying that Napoli are considering making a bid for Alejandro Garnacho. Then we had more and more come in as well, saying that Garnacho is the replacement for Kvaratskhelia. We said all of this days ago. As soon as Kvaratskhelia was sold by Napoli, just get ready for the aftermath and what happens. And then we're in the middle of it right now. The wave has hit the shore. The ripples have finished. They've built up into a wave. And now we're going to get this, I think, until the end of the transfer window. And unfortunately for Manchester United, I don't think there's any options out there. We talked last night, maybe Jonathan David coming in and all of that. But when you look at where Garnacho is right now, and this is where I want to just go into the comments from Ruben Amorim and what he said on Garnacho as well, because they're interesting. They're the ones I think are where we should be looking at right now in terms of this situation on Garnacho and where everything is and where everything's at with him, his relationship with Garnacho, everything that's going on at the club right now in the transfer market that we're talking about. We was wondering, because we heard some speculation last night about Garnacho in terms of well, it wasn't so much last night, it was yesterday, and we was thinking, you know what, maybe one of the journalists will ask a question on Garnacho. And one was asked in the embargo version of the press conference. I'm just going to read it out now. from Ruben Amorim and what he said yesterday on Garnacho, because obviously this was before Romano dropped his news and everyone piled in on the situation. So there's obviously something going on, and there is talks already happening, because Ruben Amorim says it's clear he has a talent. He needs to learn to play in a different position. He needs to play better inside. He improves a lot in the recovering position when he doesn't have the ball, but doing that sometimes he's not in the right place to make transitions like he was in the past. I prefer to defend and then build up with all of the team in reach of the final third. He is finding the best way to play in the system. He's improving during training. He started the last game. Let's see for tomorrow. I think he's changed the way he sees himself. Interesting comment there. He's definitely changed the way he's seen himself. I think we can go and use that line on a few things that have happened with Garnacho recently. Obviously, after the being left out of the squad scenario for the derby, come back in training, didn't see much of him. Little fleeting appearances here and there. Didn't look that interested. Then, obviously, before the Liverpool game, deleted Twitter, had a good game, got an assist in that game. Started against Arsenal, had a good game, got an assist in that game. Important. Very, very important moments in games recently, and he's obviously working harder in training to try and learn. But again, like from Garnacho's side and from Ruben Amorim's side, Ruben Amorim, I keep on saying this, and most people are taking note of it, but everybody thinks that we've got all of this time. We've got loads and loads of time. Ruben Amorim is the first manager, first coach to come into Manchester United and completely get where the club is at. Everybody that's come before wants years and years and years. They want absolute donkey's years to try and fix this. This is going to be sorted way down the line. We need time. He's the only manager to come in and actively work and act on what's happening right now at Manchester United. And this is what Gary Neville says. When Gary Neville says that he sees the influence of Ruben Amorim within this Garnacho and Marcus Rashford leaving, he wouldn't be surprised if there was a mass exodus, or a mini exodus, of big name players in January. He is standing there right now and looking at the situation as it is right now. He hasn't got the time to make Garnacho the player that he wants him to be. He will work with him, and if he gets better instantly and works with that football IQ that Ruben Amorim needs, gets there, then he may have a chance. But let's be honest, the crunch time and the crunch call for Ruben Amorim is this summer. And if he needs to make room for a better player that's going to help him get his system in place for the next year, because if something doesn't happen next year, you know what's coming. Look, everybody's been having a go at Ineos. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that Ineos are like this. Look at what they did at Nice. Sack manager. Completely go in on all of the managers and not get a result, and then expect them to change at Manchester United all of a sudden. Look, the pressure is on Manchester United because we're hurtling into the depths of despair when it comes to financial matters and everything that's going on off the pitch. They need results. Ruben has not got time to nurture another player through if he cannot make it. The difference in player IQ and quality is Ahmad. And I've said this before, there's a reason why Ahmad's contract was top priority, because Ruben Amorim wanted him. He's seen the quality that was there instantly, and Ruben Amorim through the door. 2 minutes, Ahmad gets a contract. No, we're not talking about Mainu yet. No, we're going nowhere near Garnacho yet when it comes to contracts. Marcus Rashford's walking out the door. Casemiro can't get on the pitch. Anthony's surplus. Everything is moving very, very quickly because Ruben Amorim knows he doesn't have the time. Garnacho's situation right now and how he's open to the move to Napoli, he's probably thinking, look, if I can't make this work under this manager, this could be 2 years and I could just fall off. I could be the next Manchester United Academy player to come in with all of the glitz and glamour and the hope and just fall away. Because there's a big, long list of them, and we all know that that list is there. They don't have time. That's what I'm trying to say in all of this. And he's the first coach to come in and look at it instantly and say, I can't make these players better. He knows that he's going to be gone in 3 years' time if something doesn't happen with this team. He knows it. How long is it going to take? We don't know. If 60 million's there right now for Garnacho, and then he can spend that in the summer, and he's got guarantees from Ineos that he can spend that and get a player he knows is going to help him get better on the pitch, you back him. You go with it. You have to. Every single one of these players, like we've said before. And all of a sudden, now Garnacho's playing well. Everyone's gone to the defence. We can't get rid of him. He's worth more than that. Well, he wasn't 4 weeks ago, was he? When he was being left out, when he was not training. No one was bothered about him then. A couple of games and fans have turned a little bit. Ruben can't think like that. We are fans, we are different to what he's thinking. I like it. I don't want Garnacho to go. I'm just going to make that clear, but I completely understand the situation. If 60 million comes in right now for Garnacho, he goes. Gone. See you later. This brings Manchester United probably 2 players that work perfectly in Ruben Amorim's system. And then we start moving forward. And I guarantee you, no one will be thinking about Garnacho once Ruben Amorim gets his players in, if he is sold, that is. He sounds like I'm going right down the Ruthless streak this morning and I want him gone. I don't. I want him to work. But I know that when Ten Hag says we need time in a few years, and this much money, literally he's bringing in players and then putting them on the bench because he can't use them. You've finally got a coach in who has seen a system that will work at Manchester United, knows what he wants, is determined to go through with it, and you don't back him at this point? We said it all along. Have you got balls to make the calls? Can you make these crucial decisions? Or are you going to just sit there like we was before with other managers at Manchester United, be this sentimental FC football club again, think about all the nostalgia, think about the history, and just rot away? Look at the table at the bottom of your screen. If nothing is done, the Manchester United will be in these positions season after season after season because we're still waiting for these players to actually come good. Marcus Rashford is prime example of what could happen to Garnacho. Touch wood, I pray. I know he's changed and I don't want him to be that player, but Ruben cannot take that chance. He cannot take that chance of this scenario coming back round again. He needs guarantees now, and that's his thinking. And please don't get me mixed up for this being my opinion on what's happening. I'll make it very, very clear. I want Garnacho to succeed and stay. But I'm only backing one man in this football club, and it isn't any player on the pitch. They've got a lot to prove. Ruben Amorim has come in and has been the most upfront and straight-talking coach/manager we've had in over a decade, who has just outed every single issue that every fan has been bitching and moaning about every single game day and in between. So why are we not going to back him in this situation if he thinks that this is right? He said it there, there's a talent. He wants him to do this. He wants him to do that. It's up to him. He said it with every single player. He said, look, if Rashford wants to, it's up to him. It has to be his choice. He has to go through that pain barrier. Garnacho, I think, is just starting this now. And I've said this before. If you've got clubs coming in with 60, 70 million bids for our players, then something is going right. This would be the biggest profit transfer in Manchester United's history if Garnacho is sold right now. This is how big it is. And right now, if this player isn't fitting into Ruben's team, we've got an opportunity. That's all I'm saying with Garnacho. That whole situation, everything that's going on right now, you have to back Ruben Amorim on this instead of the player. He knows what he's working with. And if Garnacho stays and Ruben Amorim falls, we'll look back at this moment and say, oh, there's another manager. It's the same old United. Players getting rid of these managers. He's giving them a timescale. He's giving them the opportunity. He's got a few games here, Garnacho, to prove himself. And you know what? Go for it. Prove Ruben Amorim wrong in this. Well, not so much wrong, but like he sees the talent, and he said it there in the press conference. Prove to us all that you are that player. If he plays tonight, he may be in a wide position. That's been rumoured about him playing at wing-back even tonight. Garnacho, I think he will play. We will see, Ruben Amorim said, in terms of Garnacho playing in this game. But let's just take it from there and let's see what happens over these next few games. But I feel like this transfer will drag on. I feel like it will go now. And it's guaranteed, results will influence and performances will influence this transfer moving forward. Not just from United's side, but look at Napoli right now. If they drop off the top, that will force them into the transfer window again and go even harder on this transfer. Romano said it last night. It's quite clear. They know, they understand United are serious. They know that 35 million euros, 40 million euro bids are not going to cut it. There is negotiations going on. And this will go deeper. And I think player performances, Garnacho, individual performances from him will determine what Amorim does. And then obviously Napoli, if they start falling off a little bit, then they're going to need a player in. That will force their hand in the market. With 5 games or so left before this window shuts, there's a lot can happen and there's a lot that is going to happen. I guarantee it. Almost 200 likes in already in the first 15 minutes. Thank you, everybody. I'm coming to the chat on this right now. I'm just going to check this poll. This poll is very, very tight. It has divided opinion like I thought it might. If Napoli come in around 60 million, in the 60 million mark for Garnacho, should we sell him? 55% of you have said yes so far. He goes. 45% are still holding on to that hope that Garnacho will turn this around. He really hasn't got time. This is the problem we've got right now. Ravel Burns, thank you for the super chat. If we're going to be acting like selling clubs, at least get the money selling clubs get. Brighton/Benfica wouldn't sell Garnacho for less than 80 million. And they would. No one's paying 80 million for Garnacho's for where he is right now. I think 60 million is a fair price for Garnacho. I really do. I think if that comes in, United can't turn that down. I think you could even, maybe you could stretch it 60 plus add-ons, performance add-ons, but let's be honest. Look at the pricing right now in the market. He's that price because he's young. He's not a full international. He doesn't get into the Argentinian side. There are better players in his position out there right now. And that, you have to be honest and say that. But I do think that we do need to get more money than what's on the table right now. And with that, you got Rawls with another super chat. Thank you, my man. We do have to sell Garnacho. The pressure should be on Napoli. We do not have to sell Garnacho. The pressure should be on Napoli to table an offer that meets our expectations. We need to focus on other players until Napoli step up, if ever. We'll see. Title race is on. I hope you beat Southampton so you go above them, says Zane. Zane, just you're not going to win the league, mate. Thanks for the super chat. We will take it. I think we showed you up for what you really were at weekend. I'm surprised that you've actually come in now after scraping past a Spurs team last night that everyone has been beating after losing at weekend when we didn't hear a word from you, mate. Good to see you though, mate. Thanks for the super chat. Keep on your Arteta train and clinging on to them little scrapey results. By the way, what is the point in Arteta actually being there? Isn't your coach the set-piece coach right now? Because without him, Arteta would be done. So I think we should be talking about your set-piece coach and not actually your coach at the moment, mate. Because, yeah, Arteta would not be in a job right now if it weren't for his set-piece coach. I think it's embarrassing. I really do. I think it is embarrassing. But cheers, mate. I love the banter as always. If they sell Garnacho, I just hope Rashford and Casemiro are still gone this January too. Otherwise, we've got rid of someone decent to keep the crap again. I think we've got updates on Rashford coming up in a moment. But yeah, that's a fair point. And I think that's where a lot of United fans' stance is. Like, we don't want to be seeing this raw young talent leave the football club and then the crap all stay behind again and still be here. This is the problem. Fans will see what Garnacho is. The club sees what Garnacho is, which is an easy sell because his wages are nothing. We talked about this last night. Napoli are in for Garnacho because of his wages. I think if he was on big wages, this deal might not be as talked up as much as it is right now. But 50 grand a week for Garnacho, it's an easy transfer for someone to come in. They will just say, look, double the money on the table right there. There's 100 grand a week. Come and play Champions League football. Come and challenge for a title. Come and win a league title this season. That's what Napoli will be saying to Garnacho. And that's why Garnacho's head and his agent's head has been turned right now. United won't offer Garnacho a new contract. I don't even think they'll offer him one in the next 2 years. He just signed one. So he'll be looking at this, again, like his own personal life and everything else that's going on. Like, he'll be looking at this and going, actually, maybe this is the right move for me. And this is why. The only reason why these talks are going on, why Romano's come out and said what he said last night, why everyone's piling in the way they are now, the only reason they're there is because Garnacho is open to this move, by the way. So when we're going in on the club, let's not forget, they wouldn't have approached or be talking about this unless there was something from Garnacho's side. So he is open to this. So let's just bear that in mind and remember that as well before we say that United are in a position right now, because this has come out of the blue. And I'm pretty certain, I don't think United expected this scenario to be here in January. So it has kind of scuppered the transfer window in a way to a point where we probably wanted rid of the likes of Casemiro and Rashford and other players like we've been talking about and everybody wants gone. But now this has come in with such substantial money and profit for Manchester United, it cannot be ignored. And it's in a position for a player that is actually being utilised by Ruben Amorim. Everyone else that we're talking about isn't. So it's different, and it's taken everyone by surprise. So I think this is why, and just need to remember to bear this in mind. Do United want Osimhen? Ask whatever price triggers the buyout clause. I said this last night, John. I said if United want to be clever with this and Napoli want him and Garnacho does want to go, I'd be going in and saying, look, right, okay, give us this price guaranteed in the summer for Osimhen and we'll make this happen. Personally, I think take some money right now, go and get Jonathan David or someone else for that 10. I mean, I would buy Jonathan David. Even on the free in the summer, if we can get him for free, get him. I think he's a brilliant player to have in your squad. He works hard. He's perfect in set. Honestly, I would get him, mate. I would take Jonathan David. But I'd take Jonathan David and the striker. I think right now, go and test Leo's resolve. I said it last night. Get Jonathan David, sell Garnacho if you want. And then to sell Garnacho, get the promise off Napoli that Osimhen is your striker in the summer. I know we want Gyökeres, I know, and that brings that in. But, again, this has just come out of the blue. And we have to deal with it as it is. Look, if Garnacho wants to go, and he's clearly given that indication, you have to act on it and deal with it and try and get the best deal that you can. It's not like we want him to go. This is all on him, I think, in terms of opening this up a bit. But as a player, I don't blame him. I really don't blame him for looking at Napoli or being interested by it. Why wouldn't you? At the age he is, and not having the security at Manchester United right now because of the reasons I've just said, the pressure that Ruben Amorim's under to make things work quickly, I do believe that Garnacho won't be a starting 11 player after this summer window. And I think he knows that. Does he want to be that player, or does he want to be a main man at Napoli? And that chance is there right now. I don't think it's there in the summer because I think Napoli go for someone else. Big decisions need to be made. We dominated the FA Cup, no Saka, and we miss a striker, Zubimendi, incoming also. No, you didn't dominate the FA Cup, mate. United created the better chances in that game. You missed a penalty that wasn't. Let's be honest. You lost a striker in Jesus in trying to foul one of our players. So, I'm sorry, mate. Again, I'm going to hit you back on that one. Yeah, Zubimendi isn't done yet, by the way. So, don't count your chickens on that one. Otherwise, you will be waking up with your head in a bowl of cornflakes, mate, because this was all just a little dream. So don't go gun-ho just yet, but it's not done and dusted. And by the way, no, you didn't dominate it. You had 70 minutes with 10 men, Zane, and you couldn't get anywhere near us. We were laughing at you, trust me, at weekend. Oh, God. You're lucky that you've had so many home games in a row to just try and get over this. But no, Arsenal, personally, won't win anything this season again. And then we'll come back to the conversation, Zane, later on. Thanks again for the super chat, mate. Brett says, selling Garnacho is mental and United fans' expectations are delusional. When Garnacho is balling, United fans will be crying. It will be the worst deal the club will have ever done. Disagree. Honestly, like I said it 3 weeks ago, nobody was moaning about Garnacho leaving the football club. All of a sudden, yeah, and he made suit. Look, he can go away and be absolutely world class at another club. Again, I go right back to the start of the show. It's what Ruben Amorim wants. And if it doesn't fit his system, then he will go elsewhere and thrive. We cannot think of that, though. We can't think what Garnacho's going to do elsewhere. We have to think about what suits Ruben Amorim right now and why this deal is even being talked about. It's because he needs more. And if Garnacho isn't going to fit in the system, which Ruben we know is not going to change, what is the point in having him sat there for 60 million when we can bring in a player that's definitely going to come right into this first 11? Garnacho can get better under this system. We know it. Can we wait for it? That's the big question right now. If we can get 50 million plus 30% sell-on clause on him, we are good. He will tear it up in Italy, I'm sure about that. Look, and then when he becomes 24, 25, if he's tearing it up in Italy, United have a massive sell-on clause. We earn even more money off it. You could be looking substantially. If he really does hit it off, there's no way that he stays at Napoli. Someone else will come in for him, and United will cash in. And eventually United will make probably 100 million out of this deal on Garnacho or something like that. This is where we're at, and this is what's being negotiated right now, I'm sure. Adam, do you think Barca will sell Yamal for 60 million? Come on. I mean, are you even comparing Yamal to Garnacho right now? Surely you're not. No, Barcelona are challenging for every single trophy, by the way. United are where? And we've just brought a manager in that's in a new system. It's uncomparable. It is uncomparable. Garnacho and Yamal. Different levels completely. Completely. Let's not even put the quality of them two players next to each other. Garnacho is not the finished article. Yamal is getting there already. Honestly, Yamal leaves Garnacho for dead, and that's just me, without my red-tinted glasses on, saying that as well. He's a different level. Different level. Let's get into some more of these. Right, okay, moving on quickly. One more super chat in there from Enjoy Writing. There's people I'd sell before the boy Garnacho. There is, but the circumstances have been thrown upon us and we're having to deal with it. So, unfortunately for us, we just got to, I'm afraid. It's all come about because of Ruben Amorim's system and Garnacho being open to the move. We can't get our knickers in a twist about Garnacho leaving if we want big change at this football club. That's all I'm going to say. It's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get into everything else that's going on right now because we have got updates to come in from the Marcus Rashford situation right now and where we're at with that one, which is that... I'm just going to bring them up right now. Sorry, where is that one gone, actually? Lost my bloody quote there for a moment. Yeah, in terms of Marcus Rashford, now, obviously, we spoke last night about AC Milan. We spoke about AC Milan speaking to Manchester United, speaking to the representatives of Marcus Rashford, trying to get this deal ironed out and get this deal over the line and finished. But it's come out now that the situation is that AC Milan still haven't heard. I'll just go through it now from Damasio. AC Milan are still waiting for a response from Marcus Rashford. He should give his answer in the next 48 hours. In Barcelona, there's just that chance. Now, Matteo Moretti, a journalist who's been covering this saga with Marcus Rashford, has come out also late last night / early this morning, saying Marcus Rashford has not made a decision on his future. There is no deadline. There is no agreement between Milan and Manchester United for the deal. Both clubs are a distance in their negotiations. So, obviously, negotiations are going on. He also says Barcelona are interested in Marcus Rashford and are actively trying to free up space in their squad to move forward. It just looks like he's happy with Milan, but he wants to just see if Barcelona come in. And if he wants to string this along, then more fool him, because he's not going to be playing football. I just don't understand it, how a player can be sat there not playing right now and actually knowing what money he's on and not playing. Talk about a boyhood Manchester United fan. Yeah, you sure? Just move forward and get this deal done so everybody can move on. But no, waiting around for Barcelona for what's possibly going to be a 6-month deal when then he just comes back again. You've got a club actively moving for you there that want you in at the football club, that want to build everything around you, and then you want to mess around and wait. I just don't get it. I don't get it, honestly, with him at all. But hey, when it comes down to it, what can you say? This is Marcus Rashford. Nothing surprises us anymore. It really doesn't. And I feel right now, like, completely, I've never been so disconnected from a player in United's ranks than what I have with this guy. Honestly, I'm absolutely blown away by the way he's conducted himself, the way he is, the way he's handling this situation right now. Like, you'd be moving heaven and earth. If you want to be part of that England team, you'd be moving heaven and earth to get a deal done as quickly as possible and move. And look at a club that, like we just said with AC Milan, is actively trying to build something around you and want to build around you. Whereas Barcelona are just going to use you for a short period of time and then send you straight back, because there's no way that they're going to be able to afford Marcus Rashford in the summer. And AC Milan have actually got a commitment and actually want to put an option to buy him for you. And it just shows you where he's at, doesn't it? It really does. We've got a few super chats to get through. Quite a few coming in, actually. Looks like we've stirred the hornet's nest with Zayn. Cheers, Zayn, mates. Yamal is a generational talent, like Lewis Skelly at Arsenal. Okay, I love it. Enjoy writing with another super chat. Fair shout, pal. I want my cake and eat it too. I love it. Enjoy writing. Thank you. I would take Rashford on loan. Arteta can work his magic on him. What magic is that? In never knowing what the right signing is to make. You need an out-and-out number 9, Zane, and Rashford is not that. But please do take him. That toilet is flushed with your chances of winning the title. He's just going to get an extra pump down the actual drain if you bring Marcus Rashford into your team, mate. By all means, you're welcome to him. and yeah, we'll come back and have another conversation in about 6 months' time about how it was a complete and utter waste of time. Block comes in one of the super chats. I feel for all the folk, for all those kids in Manchester who had Garnacho haircuts, saying Arsenal are crap, mate. Love it. Keep the banter coming in, everybody. We've got loads of quotes coming in from Ruben Amorim in the press conference. Look, we have got a game tonight as well in all of this absolute carnage and mess. Rashford will not be in the squad 100%. We know it. I think it's been made clear by the public cry for please feel sorry for me from his social media post to training on his own. Ruben Amorim has been talking about the team and what he might actually see in tonight's game and what we might actually see in terms of the actual setup, who's available, who's ready. Ruben Amorim on Harry Maguire. Harry was sick in the last game. He is dead in the end, and that's what I want from every player. He will monitor him and see what he is like before the game. He will monitor him and see. Playing against Southampton, Harry... we will see. We cannot lose him, so we will see. Martinez, I think, is okay. Diogo cannot play. It's his fault. And he was laughing when he said it's his fault. So clearly, he understood the situation with Diogo Dalot's red card. No complaints, and definitely just pulling Dalot for what it is. Again, just read that one out in what he said about Dalot. Harry Maguire was sick in the last game. He was dead at the end of it, and that's what I expect from every player. Harry, we'll see if he can play against Southampton. We can't lose him, so we'll see. Martinez, I think he's okay. Diogo Dalot can't play. His fault. Simple as. He did touch on Mason Mount as well in the Luke Shaw injury situation. So he has confirmed that Luke Shaw could be back in 2 weeks. Amorim said Luke Shaw is closer to a return than Mason Mount. Mason Mount will take a little longer. Luke we will see in the next week or two if he is back. So really, really good news on Luke Shaw being possibly available. Look, just to have him available, I don't know. I'm not going to start saying that Luke Shaw being back is great for us because we can rely on him. Just Luke Shaw being back... and we cross our fingers. That's it. But it's better to have him back and available for the odd appearance than not. That's all I'll say on Luke Shaw. Again, Amorim on Maguire, actually. I think he sees himself differently. He believes in himself a lot. I think he should be congratulated and not me. He's doing a very good job. He has to keep going like that. Ruben, full of praise for Harry Maguire right now. He really is. In a three-man defence, I think he's very good for him. He's neither on the left nor the right. I think he's good with the ball in possession. Look, Harry Maguire is good with the ball at his feet. And I feel like I've done a piece on Football Talks. Go and watch it on Harry Maguire, because when he was coming through, he was one of the best ball-carrying defenders out there in the Premier League. This is why Pep wanted him. This is why Jose wanted him. This is why United went all out and got shafted by Leicester, because they knew what they had. Harry Maguire is a very good player with the ball at his feet. His speed has gone, obviously. He's got his issues. He has his mistakes and everything. It's well highlighted. But you can highlight Harry Maguire's good points. Brilliant for England, with two players either side of him. And now Ruben has got him in a free. We're seeing the best of him. No surprise. That is his best position. When he's got cover and he can carry that ball forward, he's got a defender either side of him, and then Agate drops into the gap behind him, then you will see Harry Maguire playing with confidence. And I think that is what we've got right now. Garnacho is the other side of it. There is proof there that this system works for players and doesn't work for players. Nobody would have thought that United was triggering Harry Maguire and possibly thinking about him being at the club later down the line, to a point where now we're hearing reports that we're not going to go out and buy a Branthwaite or buy a defender like that, which is crazy because we had the Garnacho talk the other day, but maybe with him being cheap, we might go for him anyway. But United are actively looking for a younger defender to come through and develop. because Harry Maguire might be here a little bit longer. We could see Harry Maguire on this contract until the end of next season, and then something similar to Johnny Evans in a rolling contract, because he's going to be basically 34. And like I said, Johnny Evans going 36, 37 right now. You may see a rolling contract. You may see a couple more years of Maguire. I didn't see it coming. Ruben loves him. And like I said before, I back Ruben Amorim. I see progress under him. And if he thinks that Maguire can play a part, we go with it. I know a lot of people won't agree with that. I know a lot of people won't be happy about that, and we need to move forward. But if he isn't number one, and he is just a bit part player in the future, and he is on a lot less wages, obviously, then that's how we have to move on. It is a good system for him. Amorim on Lisandro Martinez being positioned higher at the end of the game against Arsenal. He couldn't run anymore. Bruno told me he was very tired. If you're defending and there's a ball, you're dead. So it was better to leave him up front. I like that because there's a great clip online of Bruno trying to explain what's going on. And De Ligt's like, where's he going? Where's Martinez going? And Bruno's trying to explain like he's finished. He's going up front. It's brilliant. And this was right at the end of the game, obviously in injury time. And Martinez, who had bust a gut in the game, was just sent up front just to rest and just be a nuisance up there. It's brilliant. It really is. But again, that's like Bruno recognising something as a captain. And like kudos to Bruno. Like he's all over everything, isn't he? You can see that we are a different team in some games and we have to be consistent. I tried to explain the strengths and weaknesses of each team. Tomorrow, we have to perform. The expectations are higher. We have to have more of the ball, more control, and it is sometimes more difficult to play against these types of teams. We don't spend a lot of time doing that. The team has scored a lot. The team has scored a lot of goals from transitions in the past and not from an attack placed in the opposition's side. He recognises Manchester United's flaws there and the challenges that are coming up right now against Southampton tomorrow night. We shouldn't even be talking like this. It's Southampton at home, but he still understands it. He does. We want to be a difficult team to play. In the last home games, we was too easy for our opponents. If we approach each game in the right way, we will be difficult to beat, and that's what I felt in the last two games. But we have to carry that forward as well into the game against Southampton this evening. I mean, when you look at it, thank you everybody as well. We've got well over 2,000 in the room, 400 likes. Surely we should be up around about 600 likes at least. If you haven't given the video a like, please do. We've had some right old banter here tonight. This morning, sorry. Going to get into the super chats again right now, then into the chat itself. You are right. Rashi can bang 30 goals in Milan if he doesn't fit a current Manchester United system. Garnacho for 45 million is us robbing Napoli. The price Chelsea got for Parma. See, you can compare. You can actually compare deals in the past and say what we're actually dealing with here with the Garnacho one. I think everybody sees every single situation differently. I think that's what we've got to look at. Everyone's got their own opinion on players. Everyone thinks they're better than what they are. Everyone can see something else in a player, maybe a different position. I say this is what football is all about. This is what good old football debate is about, and this is why I've put that poll up in the chat today. And it's again, if Napoli come in around the 60 million mark for Garnacho, should we sell? The gap has been closing within this vote all morning. We've had nearly 2,000 votes on this right now. 2,000 votes. If 60 million's on the table for Garnacho, should we sell him? 54% have said yes. 46 says no. So you can imagine what Ruben's thinking and what United are thinking. If this is what the fan base is thinking, nearly 2,000 people right now in our room saying they're just totally unsure, because that's what that poll tells me. This is the situation we're in. It's a 50-50 sale that's been thrust upon United out of the blue. And this is what the club is having to discuss and try and deal with right now. So it's difficult, incredibly difficult to handle. And I feel more confident that we've got the right people in place. Look, if the right bid comes in, I think we will sell. If it doesn't, we won't. And nobody's going to be too bothered. That's the situation we want to be in. If Napoli want him, come and bid the right amount of money and we'll talk. And Romano was backed that up last night by saying, look, Napoli do understand. I expect another bid to come in. I expect there to be something above 50 million coming in next. I think that will bring United to the table, because I think they will then try and negotiate in something over 60 million, maybe with add-ons and whatnot. And there will be a massive sell-on clause. And I do think United should push down on this and say, look, okay, if we're doing this for you, then we want Victor Osimhen for this price, guaranteed. So let's see what happens. We know we can't get Osimhen this January. So if we are going to lose Garnacho, then we need to get something back from Napoli. That being a bigger price and a guarantee for someone like Osimhen coming in. I think United need to work down on this. Ruben Amorim says it's hard on them, but he also has the sensibility of a player. Having only retired in 2017, he is able to communicate what he wants to bring the people along. And that's players are on board with Amorim's attempts to set the standard. Who is that one from there, actually? I just need to read into that a bit more. That's Laurie Whitwell talking. The players are on board with Amorim's attempts to set the standard. Ruben Amorim is hard on them, but he also has the sensibility of a player. So yeah, Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic talking there about Ruben Amorim, the understanding of the players, because he was a player, quite recent as well. Obviously, he's a fresh manager. He gets where the players are at. And you know what? An interesting line in what he said when he first came into Manchester United on that was, like, I know all of the tricks. I know when they're pretending. I know when they're serious. And this is the beauty of having Amorim in right now. So you put that alongside Ineos, who will make them cutthroat decisions, them ruthless decisions, and United will move forward with this. 100% we will be a better team with this. Recently, we've been a team that's difficult to beat. We need to now be a team that keeps control in possession, fast in transition to defend the counter, and capable of scoring goals from possession. Dead right, Andrew, on that one. It's time to cut our losses and move on from the overhyped player. Sell the bum Garnacho. Bit harsh. Xavi Simons would be a great replacement for Garnacho if he gets sold. Imagine him next to Bruno. I know, good player, but PSG will want absolute monster money for him next season. If Garnacho plays tonight, maybe it isn't going anywhere, because if he gets injured, surely it's all off in the summer. Look, he has to think about the here and now. I don't think this situation is a normal transfer like a Rashford, Casemiro, Antony, where them players, we're desperate to move on. We're not desperate to move Garnacho on. That's the difference. He plays. I don't think he ever sits out any game if he's available and Ruben wants to keep him because of a transfer situation. I don't think that's ever going to come into it. Definitely not with Garnacho anyway, because it is still all about the here and now, and Ruben needs points. We're 15th. The league table doesn't lie. We need, like, a win tonight takes us back up to 12th, and it opens the table up a little bit for us. We're playing teams in and around us then, like Brighton and then Fulham. We need to. So let's beat Southampton. Let's beat Rangers, put that to bed, and we can finish this month really strongly. Really strongly, because we've got another, what have we got? I think we've got 5 more games this month. There's 2 Europa League, and we've got 3 Premier League games now, them teams that I just said then. Thank you for the gifted membership as well, London. Love that, buddy. I'm having 100 million on Garnacho scoring anytime. I'm having 100 quid on Garnacho scoring anytime tonight. Do you know what? It would just add to the saga, wouldn't it? If Garnacho has a star performance tonight, it's good for us, and it's good for United if they really are interested in selling him as well. You got Rawls, another super chat. Thank you, mate. You're smashing it today. Really appreciate that, buddy. Do you have any information about the Mbeumo rumours from Brentford? I did go into Mbeumo last night. He is of interest to United and Arsenal, but none of them clubs, either us or Arsenal, can get Mbeumo in January. The deal is dead. I think other attempts to get him in the summer will come in, but Thomas Frank came out after the City game and said, without even question, when asked about Mbeumo's situation, will he be here at the end of this window? Yes, 100% guaranteed. And we know that Thomas Frank gets backing from his board. If Thomas Frank says Mbeumo is staying, Mbeumo is staying at Brentford. I cut that one off last night. As soon as I heard that from Thomas Frank, I knew that Mbeumo would be going nowhere. We've seen what happened with Ivan Toney. If you can do it with Toney, who has got the same amount of time left on his contract. Look, Mbeumo will be sold by Brentford in the summer. It's as simple as that. 1 year left on his contract. He's not signing a new deal. This is his last chance to really get a big move. I think his stock is high, and I think they will cash in on it. So, yeah, Mbeumo in January? No. Sorry, mate. That will not happen. The most likelihood, again, we discussed it before. There hasn't been big movement. There hasn't been anything mad about it. But Jonathan David, I think, is a player that you could get in January now at a cheap price because he is out of contract completely in the summer. If anything, I'd be going to Jonathan David right now. But again, like, it's all right me saying that. What about Ruben Amorim? If he doesn't want him, we don't get him. Let's just wait around and see. Like, I know the players that I think will work in this system from what they do and how they play, but still. Adam, who do you genuinely think we can sign? I just said it then. I think Jonathan David, Mick, right now. And if Garnacho's going to go, I would get a deal in place for Rashford for the summer. Guaranteed from Napoli. That would be my stipulation on any deal to take Garnacho right now. Cheers for the gifted. Tom, absolutely love that, buddy. Brian with a super chat says, you're bang on, Adam. We can't allow a couple of decent games and one killer pass cloud our long-term thinking. Take the cash and spend it wisely. Sensible football. Sensible football, I think. And sensible football business, I think, needs to happen here. I think we're selling all our players just to cover a Glazer debt. No, it's not that. It's PSR more than anything, Jordan, buddy. Almac says, I know Florian Wirtz is good. I suggested we sign him instead of Mason Mount 2 years ago, but we got no money and Ineos are cheap. Tim says, whether it's now or in the summer window, I think we are all going to be severely disappointed, and maybe then the focus will be back on getting the Glazers and their shield Ineos out of this club. Look, just on that matter there alone, I think everybody, like, fans unite. Fans get behind it. Get a movement going. If you want them out, it's great. They're not going anywhere. Just so you know, they're not going anywhere. Ineos are not going anywhere. Ineos want the Glazers out. That's quite clear. And there is a play that is being put in place right now to move them out regarding the movement for the restructure of Old Trafford and things like that. I think that's a definite. Ineos want the Glazers out, and then it's down to them. I don't know how this works. I don't know how Ineos are going to do it, what money can be invested, where Man United can make money. But if there is a way United can make money through football or for the sporting side of things, Ineos will find it. We will see. We will see on that one. But yeah, like that should be and always should be the target in getting these owners out of the club. They have been no good for them. It's obvious, but they're not going anywhere. Just to piss on people's chips a little bit with that one. They won't, I'm afraid. Summer is a left wing back, centre back, Mbeumo, Cunha and Gyökeres. Feasible, all feasible, very, very feasible. I like all of them players. That would then give us, well, I would take Cunha out of that. I would take Cunha. I would leave Mbeumo. I would take Gyökeres, but then I would go and get Edison as the 8. Not the centre back. I would get an 8 out of that one. See what else we've got in the chat before we finish up. Thank you, everybody, again. Well over 500 likes. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV, please, everybody. We are on the march. The next target in sight is the 72,000 mark. We are moving fast, so really appreciate all of your support in subscribing to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell notification. It's obviously it's game day, everybody, so content is going to be thick and fast. I will be back at lunchtime, probably live today as well. We'll have the road trip, then we'll have all of the reaction outside of Old Trafford after the game tonight, so stay tuned for that. We will be talking about United being in 12th and moving up the table after beating Southampton tonight. I'm confident that this is going to happen. Please happen. We need it to. But yes, that pretty much rounds up our show today. All that's left for me to say is thank you. An amazing show, everybody. Tons of people in the chat. Loads of great comments. Thank you to all of the contributors for the show this morning. Absolutely brilliant from all of you. Great numbers again. Love it. I will be back later on, everybody. Have a fantastic day. I'll keep you updated with everything that's going on with the club as always. Like the video on the way out, and that's us done.